Hi. It's so funny. In like the back part, like the back end of StreamYard, like what I see on my end, it's so funny because like there's like a countdown that says like you're getting ready to go live or whatever, and it always says it's showtime. So I was like, oh, it's showtime. Um, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, so it is showtime, you guys. It is day 3. Uh, it's not entirely the end, so don't get like sad or anything. We still have one more bonus day. However, today is day 3. It is the last day of the actual like trainings as far as the boot camp goes. So, um, sad but exciting at the same time. We do have one more bonus day tomorrow, and that is specifically bringing in 2 of like my absolute favorite artists in the industry, James Vincent and Harriet Hadfield. And so I'm really, really excited for having them come tomorrow. Hello. Yes, our last day together. Very excited. I mean, I will be with you guys tomorrow, but yes, this is the official last day that we will all essentially be here. So day 3. Yes, Elisa says, welcome to day 3. You guys are fucking killing it. Like some of like I'm reading your guys' comments and the challenge thread and everything like that. Some of you guys are reaching out to me personally on Instagram. You guys are just like really wow. I'm so proud of you guys. The eye-opening moments, the light bulb moments, really digging deep into the inner work that you guys are doing. I'm so incredibly proud and just humbled, to say the least, that this is a experience that we could all experience together. So you guys should all give yourselves a pat on the back. Hi, Vivian. Hello. Hi. Yes, those threads were amazing. I believe that's Sabrina saying that. Yes, and Ariana, I saw that you signed up for the Instagram audit, so I'm excited to do that audit for you. That audit is still available for you guys. It is at a higher price now, so it is back up to its $65 price. Hi, Veronica. Hello. I can't see who this is. Hi, Alicia. I'm so excited to see you here live with us. Hello, everybody. Yes. I can't see who is saying this, but I'm so glad that you're here live. Very exciting. It's always so fun. The energy is just, it's always so much fun when you can make it live, right? So, for those of you that are watching the replay, I'm sure there's a little bit of FOMO. Don't worry, you're still in really good spirits, and the energy is, I'm sure, being transferred. So really quick, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the giveaways. Okay. So really quick, I need to get my notes all together. My notes are kind of all over the place for today because there's a little something I'm adding. Okay. So I have a couple. Okay, so first of all, I mentioned to you guys last night that the winner for the day 2's challenge would be winning the social media 4-week program. That's still the case. But I'm adding a couple things to that. This person will also be getting an Instagram audit from me. And then there's going to be another person that I chose because there's some exciting stuff going on around in the space, okay? So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and announce who the winner is for day 2's challenge. And it is none other than Kiana Stewart. And so congratulations, Kiana. I wanted to really quick, before I get on to the other bit that I am going to share with you guys, I want to share what Kiana said. Like I said, there were so many really amazing, like in the feed of the comments of each of the challenges, it is like you guys are just incredible human beings, to say the least. And I want to share with you guys what Kiana said, because I want to bring what she said to the table, because I think so many of you guys can really benefit from hearing what I want to share, like my 2 cents on what she has said. Let me just find it really quick. I have my phone in front of me because I have to go through like a different thing. Okay, so day 2, where are you? So Kiana. Okay, so I'm going to read it. If I had to rate myself, it would be from 1 to 10, I'd give myself a 6. I'm promoting, but clearly not enough. I promote mostly in my Facebook group, Facebook page, TikTok, and now Pinterest and Snapchat. I had to pull back from Instagram for personal reasons, so I became a little inactive. What I do plan to do is talk more about my virtual makeup classes and my availability with that, and my ebooks and my beauty shopper service more. I can at least say I've been consistent about but my goal is to do at least 2 posts a day on all platforms. Right now, I'm at once a day on each platform. On each platform except the Facebook group. I'm getting very active in there. My goal is to get people to join the group where I'm more active and engaging. So I wanted to share this with you guys. Something that I want to bring to the table and remind you. Because here's the thing, I did this exact same thing, and that's why I think this, I'm so glad that she explained all of this, because I feel like as artists, we all kind of do this. I know I 100% have in the past until recently. Okay. Yes. Congratulations to Kiana. I don't know if she's here with us live. I haven't seen her yet. But anyway, the thing is, when we come across these really big, famous Instagram influencers or YouTubers or, TikTok, like famous TikTokers and stuff like that, they look like they're doing all of the things. Here's my 2 cents on that. Yes, they're on all the platforms, they're quote unquote doing all the things. However, they got to that point. There was a process that they had to go through to get to that point, and they have a team behind them. Most likely, 9 times out of 10, they have, virtual assistants or an entire team that's they're delegating all of this stuff out to. Gary Vaynerchuk, just so you know, like Gary Vaynerchuk is like a all in, I'm like just do all the things kind of guy. And I love his energy. Like his book, Crushing It, is like just awe-inspiring. Like it will motivate you, like it'll get to your bones. However, he has a full-blown, he has multiple people that work under him that do all of the things for him. So it's like, yeah, easier said than done, bro. Right? So and then there's all these other people that I personally follow. There's a gal by the name of Angie. What is her last name? Lee. Very simple. Angie Lee. I follow her, Shalene Johnson, and her son, Brock Johnson, Jasmine Star. These are all like really big like Instagram influencers, and they know a lot about just social media in general. And they have tons of followers. But they have money to pay people to help delegate out the things that they themselves cannot do because they just don't have enough time in the day. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because remember, if you are trying to promote either your services, if you have something like what Kiana was saying, which is she has an ebook, she has this shopper experience that she offers as well. She has a few different things that she offers aside from freelancing. And to be honest, you guys, I suggest all of us to have multiple streams of income. I have an entire podcast episode about that solely, and Kiana is already on the right track with that. However, when you are starting to offer different services, aside from just one of the service, even if you're just promoting your one freelance service, right? Do like feeling like you have to be on all the platforms to hopefully get a break and either go viral or just get a lot of work and get your dream clients. It doesn't work, unfortunately. The reason why is because you start to spread yourself thin, okay? And I did this for a very long time. I tried being on YouTube. I tried being in all the Facebook groups. I tried, being on Instagram. I tried doing Clubhouse for a second. I'm not a fan of Clubhouse, not my gig. But it wasn't until I'm not even kidding, within the last year and a half maybe that I realized, okay, for whatever reason, there's this pressure for all of us content creators, service providers, freelancers, so on and so forth, to be on all the platforms. And the reason why that is because these people that have made it suggest that, but they have a team below them to help them out so that they don't get burnt out. And chances are, if you try to be on all of the platforms, you are going to get burnt out, and or you get so overwhelmed with the pressure of doing all of the platforms that you just don't do any of them. That's what I did. I tried doing Pinterest. I tried I really, for like about in the middle of the summer, I tried to really get on TikTok, and then I deleted my account. I have a TikTok account again, and I'm just kind of whatever about it. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. So I shared this with Kiana in the thread, but I want to bring this to the session today since we're talking about action taking. Don't overload yourself, don't overwhelm yourself, because I forget who, I think Angeli and Shalene Johnson, they both preach about this. Start with one focus, one platform that you focus on and you go all in on. Choose the one that you are most comfortable with, the one that you just naturally show up on more, and then start putting all your content on that. And then once you get to a certain point where you're getting a lot of traffic, you're getting a lot of work from that because you're showing up consistently on this one platform, maybe two, then what you can do is set aside money to then do what Gary Vaynerchuk does, which is essentially take the content that you're doing and put it in all the different places. And essentially it's like multi-purposing it. Like you're putting, say for instance, I'm promoting something like my men's grooming course, right? I have tons of content that I could use on that. I could pay somebody to go through that content and make little bits. But why would I put all the pressure on myself to do that so that I can have the TikTok, 30 seconds and the Instagram reels and the videos and then put it on YouTube and edit it? It's a lot. So don't overwhelm yourself until you get to that point where you can delegate out the different things that you can offer. Okay. So that is something that I wanted to bring to the table because I know so many of us feel that way. I know I felt that way until I feel like sometimes we hear things from people, but sometimes we don't listen, right? Like, oh, we're hearing them share this information, but we're not actually listening. I finally listened to Angie Lee and Shalene Johnson when they said recently, go all in and one platform, maybe two, and then like just delegate out when you have the funds to pay for a virtual assistant, or an editor or what have you. Okay. Somebody has KK has a question. How do we choose which platform to focus on? I focus on Instagram because I think it's favorable in the beauty world. I agree 100% with you, Kayla. Because what I was saying yesterday is that Instagram is like the platform for us to be on. Pinterest is there too. And the reason why is because what we do is such a visual service and a visual just like art, right? So people want to see our work in picture and or video form, depending on exactly what it is that you're doing. So that is what I would suggest everybody puts their focus on. So that's what I wanted to bring to the table there. And then as far as like how do you choose which platform, what I said earlier, just make sure just so you guys know, she's over on YouTube, so the people in the Facebook group won't be able to see her question. But to figure out what to choose the one that you're on the most naturally, because if you're, for the longest time, I really tried to go all in with YouTube while I was trying to go all in on Instagram and Pinterest and my website and webinars and all that kind of stuff. And it ended up being that like I just didn't have the time or energy to put into YouTube. And I feel like YouTube is a really good place for makeup artists, but it's a very specific type of channel and work that does well on YouTube. Usually it's like tutorials that do well, or any type of educational video does really well on YouTube. So you have to curate that, you have to do, and it's a whole process. So I didn't really connect with YouTube. So by forcing myself to try and put out content on YouTube, I was just going against, like, I was literally like hitting a big brick wall every single time, and then affecting everything else that I was trying to do because I was so overwhelmed with, wanting to do 5 different things on different platforms, essentially spreading myself too thin. So what I did was I was like, I'm on Instagram literally all the time. I love that app, especially because Instagram Reels is basically TikTok. I really enjoy TikTok, and I am going to start, putting out a little bit more content, but it's more so like repurposing. So TikTok is really big as well. I don't want to get too into TikTok. It's a whole thing, but Instagram is great, but make sure, I mean, if you are all about Facebook groups and stuff like that, go all in with Facebook. Kiana was saying that she, has her reasons to not be on Instagram right now, and that's totally fine. Pinterest would be really, really great for Kiana. Looking into how she can optimize her Pinterest boards and everything like that, and it can be very, very helpful. This, Elisa says, quality over quantity. Yes, exactly. So that is what I wanted to bring to the table. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to go ahead and share the extra bit that I have that I wanted to announce. So I am super excited to say that our first annual membership was Jordan Garcia, and I wanted to give so much praise to Jordan. He has been showing up with such incredible energy inside the Facebook group and on, his Instagram stories. And it's really, it's beautiful because he's being really open, and he took such a big leap of faith in taking and purchasing the annual Inner Circle membership. So I wanted to shout him out, welcome him officially. He was the first person that bought the annual, so I want to give him a little bit of a shout out live on the boot camp, as well as share that I will be also gifting him an Instagram audit and a one-on-one coaching session as a gift from me to him. So congratulations, Jordan. This was a surprise gift that I decided to do out of the kindness of my heart, because I was so excited when I got to see that he was joining, and it was our very first annual subscription. So it's a really exciting moment for me. And I'm so excited for him to be joining. Okay, so the next bit that I'm going to talk about before we get into the taking action point is that I'm going to take a drink of water really quick. So when you guys signed up for this, I'm going to make sure that I have it all set up before I get you guys all excited. I do. Okay. When you guys signed up, part of the experience that you all are to experience is a little taste of what Reiki healing is, because inside the Inner Circle membership, there is a Reiki element. Right now, in the current moment, right now, we have our success kit, is what we call them, otherwise known as a masterclass. And it's called the 21 Days of Reiki. And basically for 21 days, every single one of the Inner Circle members are receiving Reiki energy from me. I am a Reiki master healer, and it has been life-changing. So we've been talking about self-development, mindset, getting rid of these blocks. And a part of that is really something I really love to talk about is the energy healing of things. So remember on the day one, I was talking about different ways to get rid of those blocks and bring them to the surface and kind of expel them out of your body or get rid of them. Clear your aura, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different ways we can do that. And one of the ways is with Reiki. And back in the early 2019, that was when I got my first Reiki 1 and I think Reiki 2. Yeah, Reiki 1 and 2 certification. And it's been life-changing, truly life-changing. And before I'm going to share with you guys a really short, brief meditation for you to experience Reiki healing. Every single one of you guys, whether you are here live with me or on the replay, no matter when you're listening to this, watching this, you will receive it. Okay? Because the way that the Reiki works, Reiki is just a healing energy that essentially is sent by the Reiki practitioner, and it can be sent to anybody at any time, anywhere. It's really, really incredible. I only do distant Reiki sessions, and you guys, it's mind blowing what comes up. It is the most magical thing I've ever experienced. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys today, very briefly. And then those of you that do join the inner circle, I know Vivian, I just got the thing that you joined. So congratulations, you will be one of the inner circle members, receiving the 21 days of Reiki plus receiving group Reiki every single month thereafter. So I wanted you guys to get a little taste of it. So just to give you just like a little background, Reiki, essentially the whole concept with Reiki is back in like the 20s, there was a man that created this energy. He was like a monk, and he basically, not to get too technical here, he had an experience and then he basically took these downloads and went with it. There's different symbols that kind of go along with Reiki, and then there's a healing energy. Basically, with Reiki, the word Reiki means life force energy and like healing. So if anybody, let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced a Reiki healing session, whether you've gone to a practitioner and like they've done like an in-person experience, or if you've done it virtually or distantly. It's really amazing. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced like on TikTok, some of the Reiki healers that like do Reiki on like one of their TikToks. Like I feel it every single time. It is, oof, I'm getting like chills right now. Like I love it. I love it so much. Where was I going to go with this? So yeah, basically you guys want to do anything, you will receive it no matter where you're at, when you watch this, who you are, no matter what. Okay, it's really incredible. And before I get into it, I want to share just some testimonials, just so you guys can kind of like get a feel for some of like the experiences. All right, let's see. I have my okay. So this is somebody that I did about 3 one-on-one Reiki sessions with over a 3-week period of time. She said, I just wanted to say really quick, just to like preface this, because it might like be like, wait, what? When I do one-on-one Reiki sessions, there's a kind of like a psychic element that comes into play. So like, like I've done Reiki, like distant Reiki sessions on people I have never met in my entire life. I know nothing about. And during the Reiki session, like somehow there's things that come up, and I know traumatic events, and I'm saying like traumatic events that come up visually for me. Sometimes I hear things. And like I said, it is the most intense, incredible, magical thing I have ever experienced. And it's just through this healing energy that I basically just connect with the person on an energetic level. And so this is what happened with this particular person. Okay, so I just wanted to say, you said something to me about this year being a big year for me. I can't believe how right this is turning out to be. I have an amazing trainer who is really helping me with my fitness platform. Plus, I just got offered my radio show, which started tonight. I'd say this is shaping up to be a pretty big year for me. Wow, finally living out some of my dreams again. So, some of the things that people can experience with Reiki is a spiritual awakening, which is very common. My sister, one of my oldest sisters, she has lupus. So I do frequent Reiki sessions for her. And pretty much almost every single time within 24 hours, it relieves her pain. And I'm not saying like I am Jesus or anything. It just is what it is. I'm just sharing with you guys what has happened. There's been times one of my sister had a miscarriage. And so her most recent pregnancy that she had, she was nervous about carrying because she just had a miscarriage. So I did some Reiki healing, and I tuned into the baby, and it was really crazy because she was, I don't know, is like the craziest thing. And her baby is perfectly fine. She's almost a year old now. And it's really cool because Reiki is becoming a much more common practice. A lot of hospitals are hiring Reiki practitioners for major surgeries, for cancer patients. It is incredible. All right, another testimonial to share with you guys. I've been receiving Reiki with Amber as a distant client for over a year now. I was skeptical as I only had hands-on sessions before, which is very common. But she is a gifted healer. I would recommend her to anyone in the world. I'm recovering from a recent car accident, and Amber has been sending me Reiki every day for the last 3 weeks. Not only have I made huge strides toward strides forward physically, but mentally and spiritually. I have had the most incredible congruences, clarity, and breakthroughs. When Amber heals with Reiki, she clears space in the body to make way for the most amazing messages from the universe. You just have to relax and receive. So that's the one thing I want to point out, you guys, is when you do any type of Reiki, you just have to be open to receiving it. And that's all. Some people are a little resistant to it. So it takes a few times. I have one of my best friends, for the first like 3 sessions that I did with her, I couldn't tune into her. It was wild. And, it wasn't until recently that I was able to really tune into her and do a full clearing, and she actually like really felt it. And she's actually really into like energy healing too. It's not that she's like skeptical about the concept, but she just had a very, we'll just say, thick layer of resistance toward people kind of like getting into her space, right? Vivian, as a massage therapist and hairdresser, makeup artist, and makeup artist, I've been thinking about, I'm sorry. I've been thinking that Reiki is a lot like energy I feel from others in the chair, 100%. And it's cool that you're saying this, Vivian, because starting in the new year, I'm actually going to be certifying specifically makeup artists and hairstylists in Reiki healing. So we can talk about that later. But it is something that I think every hair makeup artist, any person that's in the space that we usually are in when we're working with people, it's really a great it's a great modality to have like in your back pocket because you're working so close. So not only can you, you know, do Reiki on yourself. So that, like, say for instance, if you're nervous or if you are, you know, intimidated by the person that you're working with, or maybe stressed out about like on a certain set, you can do Reiki on yourself and allow it so that it doesn't, like, your stress is relieved and everything like that. And if you get Reiki 2 certified, I don't think you can technically do it with Reiki 1, but with Reiki 2, you can then do Reiki on others, and you can add it as an added service if that's something that you could do. This is amazing for bridal people that are in the bridal space. Right, Cornelius says, sign me up. Awesome. So what I'll do, you guys, yes, Veronica too. So I'll reach out to you guys. I actually have a wait list going for those that might be interested in getting certified for Reiki, because you guys, it is really, really cool when you can utilize it in the space, since we're so close to people. Like, we were in people's auras. You know what I mean? We're in, like, especially for those that are in the TV and film industry, that's like the most stressful industry to be in on so many levels. So by protecting yourself with some Reiki energy, clearing your energy before you go and step on a set or whatever, it's a beautiful, beautiful practice that I have really, really had the most incredible experiences with. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get some great music going. We're just going to do a really quick Reiki, just a Reiki scan. Okay. So, oh yeah, I got to share my music. You know what? This happened last time and I totally forgot about this. Hold on. Let's see, Chris Collins. The music that I always use for my for any of my meditations, it is by the man named Chris Collins. If you guys ever decide to, create your own meditations, Indie Music Box is amazing. His name is Chris Collins. He creates some amazing meditation music that you can use for your own, whether you want to just listen to it or just for your own, like if you want to record stuff without, like, because you have to get licensing. Let's see. Bear with me, you guys. I'm so sorry about this. I totally forgot that when I share my, what is this called? My audio. When I share my audio, I have to do it a certain way, and I didn't set that up before. Got a little too excited, okay? All right. So what I want you guys to do is get in a comfortable position, whether it's sitting, lying down, in your chair, on the ground, on your bed, on your couch, wherever you are, just get comfortable. And it's just going to be like 3 to 5 minutes at most. Okay. So StreamYard, we've got, okay, I'm going to share screen. I'm going to do Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. Is this how? Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me right now. Let me see what's going on. Okay, yes, you guys. I'm going to test something. Will you guys let me know that you hear it okay? Same, Jasmine. Jasmine says, I love meditation music. Me too. Can you guys hear that? Will you let me know in the chat if you can hear the music okay? Okay, cool. Thank you, Vivian. All right, so I'm going to pause that really quick. Okay, so like I said, go ahead, get in a comfortable position. We'll do this. Okay, cool. Go ahead and get in a comfortable position. I'm going to go ahead and play the music now. And just listen to the music. Let it kind of just lead you into closing your eyes. And your hands can just be at your side or just on your knees, wherever, on your heart if you want. Keep your eyes closed and begin to breathe in and out at your own pace. And feel free to, when you're breathing at your own pace, when you exhale, allow it to be an audible exhale. Really allow that stress, the gunk, the junk, all of the negative energy that might be stagnant in your body or your aura to just let out. Let out with an audible exhale. So you'll breathe in and then you'll breathe out. Just keep breathing that kind of pace, whatever pace feels good to you, but just let that audible exhale. I would say do it about 3 times. And as you're breathing and in and exhaling out, imagine a bright violet light that is beaming at the top of your head from the sky above, from the universe. This is the universal life force energy of Reiki coming down, touching the top of your head, and slowly going down your face, releasing the tension in your jaw. Going down your neck and your shoulders, releasing any tension. Going down your heart center in the middle of your back. Going down to your belly and your mid-back. Energizing your powerhouse, your solar plexus. Giving you the motivation, ambition, and power that you need to fulfill your dreams and your goals. this Reiki energy going down to your sacral area where your hips are and your sacral sits bones are, your pelvic bones. Imagine the violet light going down each of your legs, your knees, down to your ankles, your feet, and out of the arches of your feet, grounding into the center of the earth. And I'm just going to sit for about a minute so you can feel the Reiki energy healing your entire body on a cellular level. Just listen to the music and allow whatever to come up. Now I want you to imagine this bright violet light expanding into your aura. You see this bright violet light expanding beyond your body, circling your entire body, head to toe. Your aura is now this beautiful violet purple light. Imagine it expanding a foot radius around you. And with your next breath, it expands 6 feet. And with your next breath, it expands out 20 feet all around you. And within your next breath, it expands to 50 feet. And with your next breath, it expands 100 feet. And with your last breath, it expands all the way out the sky into the universe. Your aura is radiating this Reiki energy. And together we'll take our last breath in and out. So take a deep breath in with me. And hold it at the top. And exhale with an audible exhale. And whenever you're ready, you can start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, coming back into the room. And And when you are ready, go ahead and open your eyes. You can kind of just take a moment to get situated, get back in your seat, all that good stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Move. Stop screen. Okay. So you guys, let me just see. Yeah. Can you guys still hear me okay? I had to do some mixing with the mic. Cool. Awesome. Oh, wow. Vivian says she has 50 or so meditation CDs. That's awesome. Veronica says, I wanted to do a Reiki session a while back and never got around to it or found someone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Reiki is really, really awesome. Everybody does it differently. So I will put that out there. Your experience will be different with every single person you go to. So okay, says over on the YouTube channel, I got goosebumps and sneeze. There was a point where I got goosebumps, so I wonder if that was the same time. So it's really cool, not to get too into it because today is about taking action and it's not all about Reiki, but I wanted you guys to experience the Reiki because it is something that you will experience in the inner circle if that is something you choose to do and carry on with joining the inner circle. You get it every single month in a group style just like this. And right now we're doing 21 days of Reiki. And just to let you guys know, what you just experienced is just kind of you're amplifying your aura type of technique with Reiki that I just did for you guys. So the feelings that you might get, you might feel more inspired. You might feel a sense of relief or a little bit of a weight lifted or just lighter. But depending on if you do have a lot that you maybe are suppressing, we'll say, sometimes you might feel a little within the next 24 hours, more emotional, and that is totally normal. Cool. Vivian says, absolutely felt like things shifted around. The things I have been dealing with some tears and loss. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry for the losses. I actually just had a loss of my own in my family, so I definitely feel for you. But I hope that Reiki helped aid in that. And Reiki can help in so many different ways. There are so many, you can do self Reiki or Reiki and others for weight loss, physical pain. I like to do mostly with releasing blocks and stuff like that. Yes. And so I wanted you guys to experience that. So I hope you guys like that. You'll have to let me know how you feel now that you kind of did this whole Reiki scan. And if you feel lighter, better, emotional, and just like I said, it's totally fine. It's totally normal if you feel emotional. Everybody receives it differently and has different experiences. So if you guys have any questions about what you just experienced or anything like that, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. Okay. Yes. Somebody said Reiki helped me a lot. And I even connected with my mom who passed away. Yes. Reiki can do that for sure. I've definitely connected with others on the other side. I'm telling you guys, it is insane. It is really, really cool. Okay. So I'll go ahead and move on. We're about 45 minutes in. Anita will be here shortly, and I haven't even gotten on to the actual training portion. But that's okay. I might just message her really quick that we're running a little bit behind. So let me just do this really quick. Let me just let her know. Okay. So she is all set. I already sent her a message. We're all good to go. Okay. So another thing that came up in the comments for Facebook, the challenge threads, is I wanted to share with you guys, when you're doing self-promotion and you're feeling any certain way, or you're feeling any certain way about taking action, remember, if you ever look at other people and they're promoting themselves on their own platforms, say for instance, because I forget who it was, I'm totally spacing on who it was that said this, but they said that they feel kind of a little bit shameful to do self-promotion. They just have a little bit of an emotional trigger and feel ashamed when they do self-promotion. So I wanted to bring this to the table. If you ever do feel that way, if you feel any certain way, like you're coming off arrogant or you look silly or people are going to judge you or anything like that, remind yourself, when you're getting ready to put something out, that when you look at other artists and they're doing exactly what, maybe you're wishing you would do, like showing up consistently and promoting yourself and stuff like that. Do you ever look at that person and say, oh, I am ashamed of that person. Wow, she's just trying too hard. She is just working too much. Her makeup's okay, but you know what? She's just promoting herself too much and I am ashamed of her. Like, chances are you don't feel that way. And the reason why is because nobody but you feels that way. So just remember that it's always our minds, like our conscious minds telling ourselves like our subconscious minds telling ourselves like it's shameful to do that. You're going to look stupid. Everybody's going to judge you. You're not good enough, all this stuff, right? But nobody's actually thinking about that. And if they are, like, find those people and get them out of your life. Like 99.9% of people are not thinking that. So just remind yourself that I forgot to share this example that I always share. There's a gal by the name of Alex French, and she is somebody that I've worked with on Pen 15 for the 2 seasons that show has been on. And she's an incredible artist. She is always posting her art and her makeup and her artistry. And I'll never forget, anytime that she's like between shows, she always posts like, hey, everybody, like I'm available if you need me. Like she has no qualms about promoting herself and the fact that she's available. And it wasn't until I saw that I was like, damn, like that's awesome. And like, I didn't feel weird about seeing that, which is like, I feel like we tend to assume what people think about us. And like someone like myself, before I saw that, would assume like, oh my gosh, if I post that I'm available, I'm going to look like I'm not busy. And then people are going to think I'm not good enough and they're not going to book me or whatever. I didn't think that like remotely when I saw that with Alex. I was like, hell yeah, that's really cool. Like I want to do that too. And if you've ever seen, like, I mean, I've done it myself. If anybody's ever seen my Instagram, like I'm always like, hey, like I'm available. Hey, does anybody need a haircut? Hey, does anybody need a Reiki session? And chances are, if you've seen me post that, like you probably didn't think like, what the fuck is she doing? Promoting herself. Like, who the fuck is she? Like, probably not. And if you are, like, so be it. Like, nobody said anything to me. But if they did, I'd be like, all right, bye. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that. That was something that really helped me. And she's like, if you guys don't know who Alex French is, she's a really amazing, more like avant-garde artist, and she is currently working on Euphoria. So you guys know the HBO show Euphoria. She's amazing, like such a cool person. So keep that in mind when we're getting to talk about this taking action stuff, okay? Because taking action is taking what we did the first day and getting, to the bottom of why you feel the way you feel when it comes to promoting yourself or success blocks or money blocks and so on and so forth, taking that piece, getting to the bottom of it, and then taking the marketing aspect that I shared with you guys yesterday and putting it to play. And now we got to take action. Like, you can learn about mindset all day. You can learn about all these marketing tactics and hacks all day. But if you're not doing something, like, you're not doing anything. Like you're not growing, you're not making money. You have to take action. Okay. So, just getting my notes all ready, just all organized. Sorry. So really quick, something that I kind of brushed on is getting in the frequency of whatever it is that you are calling in. Okay. Before you take action. So when you're taking action, we're still kind of talking about the mindset / energetic aspect of this. So there was, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. She's a hypnotherapist and her name is Juliet Kobodo. And she was live today, and I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. She had this chart. Yeah, I don't know if I can show it. She had this chart, and it's called I believe it's like the frequency chart. I know actually Anita has talked about this before. So there's all of these different levels, like of what frequency different emotions are. Okay. And the emotion of love is like the top frequency. So what the concept is say like on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being like the ultimate lowest frequency, 10 being the highest frequency. When you're doing things and you're trying to manifest, you need to up your frequency. So, say for instance, you are feeling angry, you're feeling resentful, you're feeling fear, even just like maybe you're just scared about stuff. Maybe you're, feeding into the fear of the success blocks that you have, or the money blocks that you have. That frequency of fear, it's low, and when you're in that frequency you can't manifest the things that you want, and it also hinders you to take action because you're just not in this confident state, right? So this particular hypnotherapist, she was talking about the goal should always be, no matter what it is that you're doing, if you're doing a launch, if you're getting ready to promote your services, if you are getting ready to network with people, if you're getting ready to reach out to brands, anything that would cause you to have to take action in the goals that you are trying to achieve, right? You should have the goal before you do it to reach to the frequency level of love. Get as close to it as you possibly can. So think about it this way. When you are in love with somebody, like on a romantic level, how many of us know the whole saying is like, oh, like that person's like they're glowing, it's like they're in love, like, right? That's a true thing. When you're in love with somebody, or you're in a relationship and you're in that first, the honeymoon stage, you're glowing, you're excited, you're like eager, like, I don't know about you, but I'm always like at my fittest because I'm like just so happy and so eager, and I'm always like in a really good mood, right? We all experience it. That is the frequency of love. So the other thing too is like when you first have a baby, those of you that do have children, when you first give birth to that child, the amount of love that you feel for that child is astronomical. That is the frequency of love. The other, just having kids in general, like, of course they're hellions in their own right, but then you also like you see this child and you love them more than anything. That's the frequency of love. um, Getting really excited for something, like something that you really love, something you're passionate about, getting into that frequency, the frequency of loving a hobby or a passion project, or artistry or services or whatever your career is. Loving it and getting excited always wins, and people can always see it from a mile away, which is kind of talking back about going the like pre-training day. Remember I was talking about getting in alignment with the success that you're essentially like what you define success as. So if you basically are calling in something that's at a different frequency than what you are asking, it's just not going to come to you. So if you say, for instance, you're like, I want to be in the TV and film industry, but say, for instance, like you absolutely hate the fact that you have to work 12, 16, 18 plus hours, that frequency is a low frequency. So therefore you're not going to be in the frequency of love, and the manifesting aspect is going to be harder for you with whatever it is that you're manifesting. You might start manifesting really odd jobs, really stressful jobs, jobs that are hard, and you get exhausted and burn out, so on and so forth. And it's not until you can get into the frequency of what you love and what you're pursuing that's when everything gets in alignment. So going back to the taking action part, when you are feeling nervous, when you're feeling fearful, or you're feeling any way that's not positive about something that you're getting ready to do and taking action, networking, reaching out to that mentor you want to reach out to, emailing those brands for brand sponsorship deals, starting that product line, pursuing, a career in film or TV or celebrity work or bridal or whatever, and you're getting ready to promote your services or whatever. get into the frequency of love as much as you possibly can before you do it, because people will 100% like react to that. They will see it. Just so you guys know, before every single session that I do, I have a whole entire playlist that I listen to. I usually listen to it kind of like all day if I can. But like I was saying with you guys earlier, is that yesterday before I got on, I was playing that one song that always gets me like super amped up. It's that Make You Sweat, the Everybody Dance Now. So that song, I can't help but dance. So to give you examples, something for me that raises my energy and raises my frequency is music and dancing. So find what that is for you. Is it reading a certain book? Is it listening to a certain person? Is it something similar to mine, which is listening to a certain playlist? Tony Robbins actually talks about this a lot. He has like an entire, like a whole process really, but he talks a lot about his trampoline process before he goes up on stage. He basically, he has a process, like his team starts a whole thing to get the crowd super excited in a very strategic way. And while that's happening, he's listening to it and he's feeding off of that really great energy. But to get himself also to get that, like he gets on his trampoline and just starts jumping and gets super into it. And that's his way. Something that I took one of his seminars and it never left me, which is in order to change or shift your energy to get into that state that you need to be in to take action, you have to change the, like shift the energy in your body in a very specific way. So for me, if I'm feeling any certain way other than super excited before I'm doing anything like these boot camps, promoting, doing stuff about, my men's grooming, what I do is I do a little dance party before. That's my way. And find what your way is, okay? Because it helps. And it's just energy. People will see. Just like people can always tell from a mile away when people are in love, or when women are pregnant and with child, they're like glowing, right? It is an energy. It's a love energy. Okay, people see and feel it. You don't have to say anything. So if people can feel and see that in person, but also on things like this, like why would they not feel that when you're posting content, or when you're writing an email, or when you're calling somebody for advice, or whatever that might be, or you're getting ready to promote your product line that you're getting ready to launch or talk about it, right? Cool. Yes, Veronica says same girl, music and dancing. Music, dancing and singing. Same. It was so funny the other day. I was I don't remember what it was that I was doing. I think I was just like prepping for this boot camp. And so it was like last week sometime. And whenever I get ready in the morning, I like blare my Alexa and play like early 2000s or like 90s. That's like what like really lifts my spirits up. And my boyfriend came home early. And to be honest, like even if he was home, I still would do this. But he came home early and I was just like going crazy, just dancing and singing. And he totally caught it on camera. And so that was funny. It was really funny to witness that. Like he put it on his Snapchat. Latin music or 70s disco. That's awesome. Yes, that's awesome. So the next bit that I want to talk about is taking massive action is imperative to your growth and to your amount of success. I'm going to say this. Some people will totally bash me for saying this. I've done manifestation work where like I've done a meditation and the next day or even within the next hour, something crazy happens, like a random ass check in the mail. And I didn't do anything different. I just listened to this meditation. It's all subliminal. So like there is that. I don't want to get into that because that's all for a whole nother day. But I didn't like physically take an actionable step. However, that is not always the case. So for those that, I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying if you're going to do the inner work, you're going to do the self-development, listening to those meditations, you don't have to do anything because energetically it's like whatever. No, you still have to take inspired action. Okay. It's actually one of the universal law of inspired action. So you have to take action. So taking massive action will essentially result in massive success. Okay. But in a consistent way, taking massive action for a week and then dropping the ball for a month or two. Remember what I said about like how you show up for your life will show back up for you in the same way and as a mirror. It's the universe. That's I'm saying like you're showing up for the universe, and the universe is basically like mirroring how you show up for the universe. So make sure that whatever action steps that you are taking, you are consistently showing up with those action steps in a consistent way. Trust me when I say consistency is everything to the universe. The way you show up consistently, the universe will reciprocate that to you. So if you're constantly in fear, you're constantly putting things off, procrastinating, the universe will 100% show you that right back at you. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to give this really cool example really quick. Hold on. Where's there it is. No, that's not it. I want to get my workbook. Okay. So for inside your workbook, I have this on the first page that this particular part of taking action is honestly what most people miss. All right. And this is precisely why there's only like the whole statistic of 1%, like the 1% of people that are successful. And the 1% is true in every single industry. So think about those of you that went to makeup school or cosmetology school or esthetician school. Think about the people that were in your class. How many people were in your class? And how many people are still, if it was within a couple of years? I would say if you just recently graduated, that's too soon, it's too fresh. But how many people from your class are still doing that? Take it a little bit further. People that go to college for a specific degree, there is a very low percentage of people that go for a certain degree and stick to that degree and actually work with the degree that they essentially got. If you look into every single, like let's talk about the TV and film industry. There are a lot of makeup artists that work in TV and film, but there is only 1% that are Oscar winners. I don't even know if it's 1%. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 0.3%. But you get what I'm saying here. In every single like industry, there's a 1%. Okay. Now, will you be the 1%? You 100% can be. Do you want to be the top 5%, the top 10%? You might not even necessarily be like, maybe you're just like, I just want to make money doing makeup. So the only reason why I'm suggesting this is because I'm proving the point that taking action pays off. Okay. 90% of small businesses fail. Not to scare you guys, I'm just giving you statistics. And within the first 5 years tend to be when they fall off. That's like the first 5 years. Okay. And I'm bringing that statistic so you guys can see taking action is 100% reflective. Like however you show up and taking action is reflective on where you're at or where, your success, potential is. We all have an immense amount of potential. We all do, every single one of us, but we all handle it differently, right? We all show up differently in our lives for what it is that we're calling in our goals, our dreams. And so those of us that consistently show up and taking action, we're rewarded, right? And every single one of us can be rewarded as long as you're consistently showing up and taking that action. And of course, doing the inner work and the strategy behind it as well. Okay. So, and I kind of like to bring this perspective to your mind. So if you guys think about Michael Jordan, right? There's a whole saying that says, and I think it's directly from, I got this quote and statistic from the Michael Jordan documentary. Like it's a documentary about the Bulls, the Chicago Bulls, but it's pretty much about Michael Jordan. And there was a statistic that they brought to the movie, the documentary, that stated it takes 10,000 hours for somebody to be an expert at something, aka showing up like crazy. So what does that mean? Like, Michael Jordan literally is the ultimate. He is the number one basketball player. Like, there's players that definitely are like, woo, they're like getting close, or have gotten close, but nowhere near Michael Jackson. And he states in the documentary that he would practice before practice and after practice, and he would do, I think he said, 1,000 free throws every single practice. And that's 1,000 more like free throws than the guys that he was practicing with, like his teammates. Not very many people are willing to show up that way. That's it. That's an extreme, but it literally parallels. Remember what I was saying, how you show up in life, the universe will show back up for you. He showed the fuck up. And what he got in return was, like, I think there was a chart that my boyfriend and I came across about like the highest paid sports players, and it's so funny because like there's like Michael Jordan is like here, and everybody else is like boom, 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 boom. Like it's gonna be rough. I don't know how anybody's gonna be able to surpass him if it ever happens, because he's like in the billions, like multi billions. I don't remember exact numbers, but it was insane. Just the difference from him being number one and the number two is like, it's a gap. Okay, so point proven is when you show up like Michael Jordan, the universe will definitely reward. Okay, now the other thing that I wanted to point out is there was this one time that I came across an artist that she had just gotten out of school, and I'm talking like maybe less than a month, and I was working at Makeup Designery, and I was teaching these classes at the time. They do like these Saturday workshop classes, and I was teaching those, and the owners asked me to do the next one, which was airbrushing, and I was like, I mean, maybe, like, I just don't really like airbrushing, and I really don't like doing airbrush makeup unless it's for special effects. And like, bless her heart, and I'm only bringing this to the table so you guys get a perspective. She was like, "Oh, I'm an expert in airbrush makeup. I can do it." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, so when you say you're an expert, like, did you do airbrush before you took the class?" And she's like, "Oh no, like I just took the course and I just was really good at it." And it's one of those things that, like, yes, she might be really good at it, but the whole concept of, I definitely back this, is in order to be an expert in something, having 10,000 hours in that particular vein of whatever it is that you're claiming to be an expert in. So for me, the only thing that I claim to be an expert in is men's grooming. Everything else is like, yeah, I've done a lot of natural makeups. I've done a lot of hairstyling. I don't necessarily say I'd be an expert at, like, I've done a lot, but men's grooming, I've done it. And ways that you can show up and taking action, like just some examples. So practicing what I was just saying with Michael Jordan. Just so you guys know, for those of you that know who Joel Harlow is, okay, Joel Harlow, he was Johnny Depp's personal makeup for many years. He did all the newest Star Trek movies. He's won an Oscar. He did the last few, well, he's done a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean. He just did a lot with Johnny Depp specifically. And I don't know his most recent stuff, but he's a very, very well-known special effects makeup artist. And I'll never forget when he told me that because he gets a lot of artists that come up to him that want to apprentice, want to assist him, intern, and just learn from him. And he said that he always knows if somebody is a good candidate if they're practicing. He's like, show me, your portfolio. That's great. He's like, but if you're showing me a portfolio of, like, say 8 photos and those are it, that are like really nicely done photos, he's like, that's great. He's like, but I hire the people that show me everything that they do because they're working at home and they're practicing. He's like, those are the people that I want to surround myself with. So he literally just in his spare time sculpts. He just sculpts all these really cool, I forget what they're called. I'm totally spacing what they're called. Just all these different sculptures and these different creatures and stuff like that, aside from working. And he works a lot. So that's what I'm saying is like showing up, practice what you want to really like become an expert in. I always share this story of when, so I've been telling you guys about how terrible I am at winged eyeliner. And I'll never forget one of the first runway shows I ever did was in Indianapolis. And there were, I think, like almost 30 models that were like coming through, like for, the show. And I had to do winged eyeliner. And I was terrified because when I practiced, it looked terrible on my sister. And I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be so bad. But on like the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, every new person that sat in my chair, that winged liner got better and better. And on the 30th person, y'all, I was like an expert. Like I felt like an expert. I'm not saying I am an expert because I'm not, but I don't do winged eyeliner anymore. Now, if I were to practice that over and over and over again, I would feel a lot more confident in that. And when we practice, it builds our confidence. Okay. So I am 150 million% confident in men's grooming. Like I'll promote that all day. Right. Not so much about glam stuff. Right. I don't want to do that. But say, for instance, I did want to do that. Say I wanted to get more bridal clients. What I would need to do to take action is show up by practicing. Okay. So just show up for yourself is really what I'm trying to say here. There's different ways of showing up, consistently showing up on your Instagram, like we talked about yesterday, or your TikTok, or if you're, wanting to go into the YouTube space or Pinterest, Facebook. Put yourself out there so that you're reminding people, I am a makeup artist. I offer services. You can pay me. Like, let a bitch know. And showing up when, maybe you do need the work, just showing up and saying, hey, I'm doing, I have these dates open, for those of you that do work in salons or in the bridal space, you can, there's a whole, it's really, really cool what a lot of these stylists and makeup artists do is they'll like it's so cute. My niece does this too. She does lashes. And so what they'll do is there's like in Canva, there's these Instagram stories that you can create that basically you can put like, I have openings on Friday at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. It's really cool. And she has shared with me that it really drives new traffic and appointments. And so you can do that. There's a lot of different ways you can take action. So anyways, that's all I have for you as far as the actionable step taking. And I know we're running a little bit behind, so I want to make sure that we keep moving forward. I'll come back to the comments in a little while. I want to make sure that we bring up Anita. But before we bring up Anita, I want to just say something about Anita because I am in love. She's just such a beautiful soul. And I always look to her whenever I'm feeling like, I don't know if I just feeling maybe like sluggish about, taking action. She will light you up. She shows up more than anybody that I know. And it is literally showing like what I keep saying is how you show up for your life or how you show up for the universe, it will immediately reflect back to you. And the way that she shows up is 100% showing up back for her. She has been growing in like astronomically, and the amount of like her income has grown significantly, and she is showing up every single day. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Anita on. Hi, Anita. Go ahead. You can unmute. Okay, she's going to do something really quick. Let's see. Unmute mic. Vivian says, I love Joel Harlow's work on the Pirates movies. Yes. Yes, he did fantastic with that. Okay, she's going to have to come back on. She probably got kicked off for a second. There she is. Okay, I can't hear you. Hold on. I just hear clicking. I'm just going to read the comments while I think about this all the time. Out of the 20 plus people there were in my class, only a few of us are actually working. Yes, it's true.
There we go.
There you are. Hi, Anita.
Hi, loves. Oh my gosh. I was like trying to comment in like the little chat, but I couldn't do it. And I was like, dang it. There's so many things that you're talking about. We're so good.
Yeah, Christy said the same thing yesterday. It's hilarious. Yeah, unfortunately, you and I can't comment on the back end. So, but yes, we now can hear you, which is awesome.
Yay! Cool. And I'm live on TikTok too, so I'm saying hi to my TikTok friends and saying hi to everybody that's on the call.
Oh my God, amazing. Yay. So, Anita, I'm having everybody that comes on share kind of their story. So, I would love for you to share with everybody. So, Anita started out as a makeup artist, and now she kind of is in the coaching and money manifesting world. So, she did a shift, and we'll talk about her shift momentarily. But share with us your story, how you started in the makeup industry, and then how and why you made the shift to where you are now.
Oh, yay. I love the story time. And I'm happy that this is a group of makeup artists because, again, this was something that I really started with, my path of least resistance and what led me down this road. I'm telling you guys that when you start this road, you start this journey, you're just one thing after another. And I want to thank you for saying that in part of my story, because I'm like, I kept getting back up because I had to, not because I wanted to. And so my story actually started. I was always somebody who was always working a million jobs all at once. So I like to go back to the point in my life. I think I was like maybe 22 and I was working 5 jobs, guys, like literally 5 jobs all at once. And I was actually going to school for makeup at this time. And I want to point this out in the story because I've just really grown up with the belief that we have to work super hard to make money. And I'm so excited that you're talking about action because, yes, action is so important. But at the time, I wasn't conscious that I was working out of scarcity, AKA I didn't believe that if I were to stop working one of those side jobs, if I would stop driving for Lyft or doing Postmates or anything, that I wouldn't make enough money doing what I wanted to do, which was makeup. So I was going to school for makeup, and again, some of those jobs I released on my own. And some of them I was like, man, I really just want to be doing makeup full time. And then Source will give you what you want when you ask for it, right? And so situations would happen where my car would physically break down like 4 times in 1 month, right? And like little stuff like this would happen. And I had no choice but to work on my makeup business, start working on my website, start working on, all the back end stuff of a makeup artist. And so what led to my story is that when I moved, I was in Virginia at the time. I was literally in a position where I was starting to become conscious of what we are talking about right now, the law of attraction, manifestation. Like nothing really clicked for me until I got to this breaking point, and I heard a book. It's called You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. So for all of you who are watching or listening right now, go ahead and put in the comments like Jen Sincero or whatever, how you spell her last name. Put it in the comments so I can see if you guys have actually read that book or not. But I highly recommend it because when I listened to it, my sister was actually the one that showed me it because it had my name in it. There was a girl in the book. Her name was Anita, and she was manifesting $60,000 to quit her job. And that's what I was doing. I was quitting my office job just so I could start doing makeup full time. And when I started to become conscious of this and I heard that story of how Anita manifested $60,000, I was like, what? This is absolutely crazy. And so that's when I started learning. Yes, beautiful. She has so many. I have the calendars, like I put her everywhere. And yeah, she's a huge part of my story. But the biggest thing was that I was conscious. And then I became obsessed instead of listening to music. So if you guys listen to music while you're doing your makeup or when you're driving, go ahead and put music in the comments. I want to see how many people like listen to music while you're just on autopilot, because this is a really important part of of my story. And so again, I just became obsessed. So instead of listening to music, I was listening to podcasts. It wasn't listening to podcasts. I was listening to YouTube. And then I was like, holy crap, I had no idea podcasts were a thing. Then I got hooked on podcasts and audibles, and I started learning all about law of attraction. And so I made the decision that when I moved here to California, I was going to do makeup full time. I didn't care what I had to do. If I had to drive for Postmates when I first moved down here, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to make it happen. But I had so many subconscious fears about moving. And again, I want to point this out in my story too, because it's really, really ties into how everything really shifted and manifested in the masculine energy, the physical take action. But I just went and I did it. And I tell you guys that every single thing that I had been manifesting in Virginia, everything that I had been writing every single day, I was like, I don't get it. I'm meditating, I'm doing this stuff, but like money's just not coming to me. When I started the drive from Virginia to California, I got hired as a full-time makeup artist. Like, there was somebody, like, I was that manifestation for them because somebody just left the team, and now I had all of these jobs before I even got here, and we had no place to live. When you're in the military, my twin was in the military, and you have about 10 days to find a place. And yeah, it's crazy. They give you 10 days to find a place. And we just so happened to get an apartment that was like one of the biggest places here in San Diego. And it was so funny because our neighbor just so happened to run all the fashion shows in San Diego. And one of my things on my manifestation wing is I want to do makeup for TV. I want to do makeup for TV. That weekend, I was doing makeup for TV that I got there. And there was just so many things that started to fall into place. And I also want to say that it was the first time I've ever really invested in myself. I've never spent money. If you guys are conscious of the manifestation babe, me and Amber talk about her all the time. But that was the first time I really invested in myself. And one of the things that she said that really clicked for me was that if you don't have the money to invest in yourself, that's why you should invest, because it's an energetic exchange. It's pretty much just you putting your money where your mouth is and operating at this highest frequency. And so that's when I started my journey. I invested in her Rich Babe Academy, and then Manifestation Babe Academy, and then I joined a mastermind, and it was just like one thing after another. And I started my podcast because I was reaching out with so many other makeup artists, and makeup artists were like literally telling me every single thing of how they started their business, like verbatim. Oh, this is how I do this. Let me give you all the clients that I can't take. And I just thought that everybody needs to hear this, right? And so I started interviewing those people on my podcast, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden I just started telling manifestation stories. And it's kind of what led me to the journey of becoming a manifestation coach. But it took me a long time to really embody that version of myself. And I know Amber said that like my growth has been like exponential, but when I tell you guys that all of these things have been manifesting for 3 years, and I tell my client all the time, it's going to happen really fast. It's going to happen really fast. But when it actually does happen on a material world, I realized that nothing really changed. Like, I was still waking up with this mentality of like, it's going to blow up tomorrow. It's going to blow up tomorrow. There's a book by Russ, and Russ talks about, you guys know the musician Russ, but if you know Russ, put him in the comments. I'm like obsessed with him. Anyway, he has this book. It's called Thoughts. Wait, It's All in Your Head. And he was talking about how he was really having this mentality, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen tomorrow. And he had that mentality for 5 years. And that's when it really clicked for me that I have been that for the past 3 years. And even when I wasn't, my podcast wasn't about manifestation, I was always every single person. Do you know about the law of attraction? Do you know about manifestation? And I started to attract people who understood what I was talking about. And I started to attract other places, opportunities, just things would fall in my lap because I was open and receptive, and I was just operating at my highest frequency. So that's just the shortest spiel that I could give. There's so many stories and so many things to it, but I really want to leave time for some Q&A and lots of questions.
Yeah, and I love what you said. You'd mentioned about the fact that like you're in a different, like you shifted to a place of ease. So it's like you said the least, what is that saying called? Path of
Path
least
of least
resistance.
resistance.
So, and like so practicing and putting all that work, like if you're not putting the work in the place where like it really comes from love, Michael Jordan was clearly obsessed and so incredibly passionate about specifically winning, but about basketball. And so that's how he showed up. So whatever you're passionate about, when you show up consistently, it doesn't feel like if it's a path of least resistance. So like for me, like doing glam makeups, like that's resistant to me. Like I don't like doing it. So like what I had to do is I decided I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do men's grooming because that's the path of least resistance. And I love doing these types of things, which is very similar to what Anita does, which is sharing the message of manifestation and releasing blocks and things like that. And it's that is the path of least resistance. And so it's cool because you've shared when you made one shift first. There's like two different shifts that you made. The first shift, which was you just want to do makeup, right? And then you did it. You just went for it, took action, moved, right? But then you did another shift. So you're not working as much in makeup. Oh no, we lost her. So just so you guys know, I'll say this really quick. She shifted from doing makeup into shifting working specifically in the manifesting space. There she is.
There you are.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay.
I was like, why did you just take me off, computer?
That's okay. But so I was saying is that like your second shift that you just kind of more recent, like this past summer or a little bit earlier, you made the decision that like, okay, makeup is great. I love makeup. However, I love talking about manifesting money. And so she made a new shift with her podcast. She renamed it, she rebranded. And it was like when that happened, she already had she already hit the massive TikTok blow up that you had. But it was like right after that, you were like, I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to make that shift. And ever since then, she's just been like, woo, just your aura is just like so magnetic. And that's what I'm talking about is she's in the frequency of love. So find that frequency of love for you. So anyways, I would love for you to share I'm getting chills right now. I would love for you to share the process that you went through when you made that shift. Some of you guys might not necessarily be at that point. You might be making the shift of going from a 9-to-5 to going to freelance. You might be making a shift of something I just went through, which Anita is very well aware of. I just moved from California to Denver, making the shift of not working so much in the TV and film world and focusing more on what it takes and focusing more on specifically men's grooming, which, by the way, I don't know if I told you, I got signed with an agency since our last conversation, and it's for men's grooming. So it's like, that was my path of least resistance. I've been wanting to do that for 13 years, and it wasn't until I made that shift and closed that door that no longer served me to open up a full room, like a door to a full entire mansion of what I actually want. So I would love for you to share your experience with what made you decide to do the shift from makeup to now you're more like manifesting coach and money coach, and the ups and downs of it. Cause it's like, kind of like, I feel like you're saying without saying, like, yeah, it looks like this astronomical success, but like you have your days, right? So I'd love for you to just share the ups and downs, the shifts, what you went through and all that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Literally just so much gratitude that I get to share all this part, because again, it's like, it's kind of one of those things, you get what you want, but it's not what you want. And I'm going back to what Russ was saying in one of these podcast interviews with Jay Shetty. And he talked about, I didn't get a different version of success. This was just the stuff that does come with success. And I was never really conscious of it. And so to go back to your question of like the quantum leaping and the shifting and everything. So what I've really learned is that even though I had this mentality, it's going to happen overnight, it's going to happen overnight. And it did. But what I really had to realize is that it was a process of all the little things that I was shifting and letting go. So I know that, like, I like to say that when I look at my story, I had 2 really big, massive quantum leaps because I took a crazy, quote unquote, leap that everybody else would be like, that's nuts. That's not practical. Why would you do that? Does this make sense? If you don't have the money, then why would you? But when I really look at the story, it was all the little things that I did, all the little tiny things that I released, right? So it's exactly what you're talking about. At first, it was me releasing college and then doing makeup. And then when I did makeup, I was like, okay, I tested the waters with everything. I didn't like bridal, so I released bridal. And then I didn't like this, and then I released this. And then I didn't like working for another company, so I released another company. It was just really what I've learned throughout the process, that it's really a game of how fast can you release what's no longer serving you. And, you know, a lot of people say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But honey, when you get to a place where you do know what to do and you're like, I know what I got to do. I just don't want to do it right now. That is a new level of uncomfortability. And so I like to say that trusting or knowing your next move is a blessing. And it's also a curse, because we know that we're the only things that are really getting in our way. And so every single person that's on this call right now, you're going through a shift, whether you're here on TikTok or whether you're here like on the physical Facebook group right now. And so what I want you to do is just in the comments, tell me one thing so I can kind of see where everybody's at. So if you're working at a 9 to 5 and you're wanting to do the full time, put 9 to 5 in the comments. Just so I can again see where everybody's at. And the biggest thing about this is to just see where you're at in the process. Again, you're always going to be shifting. You're always going to be releasing. You're always going to be operating at a new higher frequency. And so I got a couple people in here saying 9 to 5. Somebody said a business that I love, but I want to do something else, right? So these are really good examples. And Kay was actually somebody who was in our group. I don't know, is she on his call? I would be so happy.
She's not on. I don't think she's on the call right now, but she is a part of the bootcamp. I think she watches the replays. So
okay, hello, I love you, I miss you. But it was the same thing, right? I could tell people all day long, well, just release a job. You know, I don't get why you just wouldn't quit and do just the one thing, right? And it was because I had not only done it before, right? I've been at jobs that they were not necessarily bad, right? Having a toxic job is one thing, right? But I think the hardest part for me was when I was at a job that wasn't bad. It had to do with makeup. It had to do with this. I could get commissions. You know, the pay was there. It was consistent. But I just didn't feel good when I was there. When I was there, all I could think about is not being there. And when I would physically walk into these places, I would feel heavy. I would feel tense. And I would feel like there's conversations about me. I would feel all these things. And, you know, we think that we are just making this stuff up, guys. When you do this work, when you start to really understand your thoughts, you create your reality and not your emotions and how you feel, you pick up on other people's vibes. And so vibes don't lie. If someone walks in the room and they're feeling negative vibrations, it's because thoughts are negative. And so when you're around these people, even if those thoughts aren't about you, even if those thoughts are about something else, you pick up on that. And so when I realized I said I would try to convince myself to stay because it was quote unquote practical. And so when I released it and then an opportunity came up, and this was the new path of least resistance, I was like, oh, so this is what happens when I quit that job. And then some of the times that this new opportunity is no longer serving me, either I would release it or something would happen where I physically cannot do this anymore because something out of my control has happened, which what happens when sources like trying to tell you that's not what the right thing, you got to let it go. And so what would happen is that I became very familiar with the process. Every single time that I released something, and I again started to work on my makeup business, I started to work on my coaching business, started to work on this, and I started to pay attention when the money showed up. Because I was so scared, especially when I first moved to San Diego, right? And I'm releasing this negative beliefs and I'm doing the work and I have all the material, right? I know these things, and I know if I had the money, I wouldn't be driving for Postmates. But the physical action was not driving for Postmates. And so what would happen, I'll never forget this because I was really like, okay, I'm testing the waters. And I remember there was a Friday where I was like, okay, I'm going to get booked for makeup. I'm going to get booked for makeup. And I was like, I'm not going to drive today. I'm not going to drive today. And I got an inquiry from about makeup, and they never booked. And I was like, dang. And I was like, well, it's too late to drive anyway. I'm just going to follow through, with what I said I was going to do and just not work today. And when I tell you guys, that was the last time I drove for Postmates. That was the last time that I drove for Postmates. The next day, I got fully booked. The next weekend, I was fully booked. Like literally after that, everything started to happen again because one, I wrote I wrote it down in my calendar that was going to be the last day, and it didn't even click until like a month after, and I was like, holy crap. And again, it's not Postmates that's bad. It's not the 9 to 5 that's bad. It's simply the question of you asking yourself, would you be doing this if you already had the money? And when you can operate again from where you want to be, not where you're at right now, that's when the random check shows up. That's when the affiliate sales show up. That's when I was actually still in network marketing too. That was something else that I was releasing. And I would make sales with that when I had never made sales before. And like I would release that job and I was like, holy crap, this is crazy. So again, I really started to pay attention to when the money showed up. And so if you guys are at a job that you are releasing, and again, I'm talking about this because there's so many people who are in my energy, and I attract people who are like me, right? I was somebody who knew that I didn't want to work these jobs. I was made for something different, not better, right? We're not comparing anything. It was just a different path, and that was okay. And so once I really started to accept that, and now when I tell other people, and Kay is a really good example. When she released this job that was no longer serving me, I was like, girl, I know every time you get on the phone call with me, it's just a subconscious reminder that you need to quit that job. When she quit that job, guys, it was crazy. I mean, it's one of those things it's going to happen, but when it does happen, I was like, I told you. It's like everything that she'd been manifesting was like, hello, we've been waiting for you. And the biggest thing is that a lot of people are scared to what's going to happen after I make the leap? What's going to happen after I quit? And the truth is, you quit. You create the outcome. And when you really start to understand quantum physics and really start to understand the law of assumption is the universal law of whatever it is that your subconscious mind believes to be true is what will manifest into your reality. That's what will shift. Like things will physically shift and realign to perfectly fall into place, even when it looks like it doesn't. Okay. And when I say shift, I mean it. Like things are going to fall out of place. Your car is going to break down and you're like, you got an unexpected bill and now you got to take your dog to the vet and all this different stuff. And you're like, I asked for more money. Now you're making me spend more money. Well, that's the test. And a lot of people don't pass that test, right? Because they're like blaming money. Oh, this is so stressed out. You think any of that's going to change when you have more money? Nope. And it was when I finally started to get excited about those things because I knew that was what was happening. That's when I got a parking ticket. And I remember I got 2 parking tickets in one day. It was actually really funny. And I'm so funny about it too because I'm like so dramatic. I'm like, yeah, I know this is a good sign. The day after, one of my videos went viral and I made literally $8,000 in one day. And those parking tickets were $50 each. And so again, there's just little things that happen where I was like, okay, pay attention. And you start to build the belief of the proof of what happens when you follow that path of least resistance.
Yes, I love that so much. I'm going to talk about that for a second because really quick, I want to like showcase to you guys the psychology behind what she just shared if you missed it. So she literally was just saying she figured out the law of assumption. She took it, was like, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm going to go viral. And she's like doing this, manifesting on her own like side, right? And then she has all these things like one thing after another happening. And instead of assuming like, oh, gosh dang it, like whatever, now I have to pay, now I'm not gonna be able to pay this. And then you start assuming, like it's like a domino effect that you're assuming once one thing goes bad, everything else is gonna go bad. Instead of assuming that and going down that like spiral, she was like, yes, things are going to happen. Her assumption was that something better is about to come. So I'm getting chills. I want to point this out that Anita was an integral part in the process of me moving. That was one of the hardest things I've done. It was so rough. And I was sharing with her, just like she and I were talking amongst ourselves, like privately. And I was sharing with her, I had my card got hacked right before we were moving from LA to Denver. I got double charged on my U-Haul while I was like trying to figure out, replacing my card in the middle of like within 3 days of moving. What else happened? There was like all of these things that happened. It took, instead of 16 hours to drive, it took 28 hours to drive from LA to Denver. It was like one thing after another. And I was sharing this with her and I was like, I just don't know. Like, is this a sign that I'm not supposed to be at Denver? And she's like, no, bitch, that is a sign. This is where you're supposed to be. She's like, get excited. She's like, I am so excited for you. She's like, I don't think you realize what's about to happen. And it was crazy because, just to give you perspective, I took what she said and I was like, she's right. Okay, I'm going to get excited. Okay, the bigger it gets, the bigger something better is going to happen, right? So just to let you guys know, I'm not kidding you. I had exclusive artists agency on my vision board for 13 fucking years, and it didn't happen while I was in LA working my ass off. I was busy working in LA, and it happened while I'm here in Denver. You think like, why would I, like, it's an agency in LA, why now in Denver? They opened a section for Denver specifically. What? Like, and now like I'm under their like men's grooming section specifically. Like, so that's just like to give you example, and some other things have happened, but I wanted to share that with you guys so you guys can see the connection of when things feel like they're going wrong, or you're feeling a sense of like a lot of fear around things. The law of assumption, it's real. If you really play into that and really trust that the universe has something much bigger and better for you, when these things that are happening are bad, it's on the other side. Things unfold in a really beautiful way. Sometimes it takes a little time and it tests you like crazy. But it's so nice because Anita always was such a nice, gentle reminder when I was at a really hard moment of my career in my life, really. And that's what she always reminded me of. She's like, things are going to be amazing. Like, I'm so excited. And I was like, but I don't have money right now. It was awful, but it was good at the same time. So I love that you shared that. So thank you.
Yeah, I want to read some of these comments. These are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Someone said, let's see, got some people releasing 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Coralina. Starting after 12 years out. So good. My quantum leap was leaving my 9 to 5 this past August. Yep. Negativity in my ex-partner has been suffocating me for 12 years, and I'm just finding me again and again without that hanging over my head. So release is my number one action. Yes, so good. I want to talk about that because people are the biggest energy blocks. We just talked about her move, my move, and all the stuff. And like, especially with my podcast, what I realized is that it was the same shift. Every single person who moved to somewhere that they were like getting called to go, the same things happened to them. And so I started to notice not only this pattern in like my podcast guests, myself, and honestly my clients too, because I started teaching people. I was like, guys, I think this is a sign you should go. And this before I was even coaching. It was just like, everybody needs to know about this, right? And then I started to hear it in other places like the Manifestation Babe, all these deeper things. And so the 3 main things that I've really kind of boiled down to is releasing people, places, and things. So things have physical energy. So if you guys, obviously I'm talking to makeup artists right here, so I want to talk about like the physical things. Like if you have old makeup that you don't use, and I'm like, you literally yelling at myself too, because I was like, I would keep things. I was like, maybe I'll use it for this client, or maybe I'll do this. those things have so much energy. And even like things that I would buy because I was like, well, these lashes are maybe cheaper if I get them from here, and they're like poor quality, and I would just keep them just in case. So I started to get rid of all that stuff. I started to clean everything out. I started to clean out my car, make sure that my car is like super clean, just like getting everything out, because once you realize that everything physically holds energy, you create space, right? And I'm all about attracting things in, but we got to let go first. And so physical things, um, places is the other one. So places like we talked about. So it's maybe the workplace that you're at, yeah, or maybe it's like your physical apartment. Like I love living in San Diego, and again, my other apartment wasn't bad. It was just no longer serving me. And so when I came here, I felt inspired. I felt like in alignment. I felt like I was operating at this whole new frequency. And did I know how I was going to pay an extra $1,000? I was like, hell no. But I was like, I got to prove. So this is a sign. And when I tell you guys, everything manifested after we signed the lease. And then the last thing is people. So people are the biggest energy blocks. And so going back to what you were just talking about, like the person who may be in your life who's negative, who's always like that negative Nancy and all these different things, right? That's one thing. And releasing toxic people is kind of like, okay, I know I need to do that. But what I really like to zone in on is the people who were unconscious that they're physically blocking us. They're people who are, again, not bad. They're just no longer serving us. And so I like to focus more on that, because once you realize, especially when you become conscious of this, right? My friends didn't understand these things. Like I would get excited. I'd be like, holy crap, I just found $20 on the ground after I said this affirmation, like, and people would be like, okay. And again, they're not saying anything. Maybe they're joking and all this kind of stuff. But it was just a simple fact that they were not as excited about that. They didn't understand. That's like me coming to someone and say, football, like, yeah. Like I do like some football, but it's like, okay, like good for you. Like, okay. We're just speaking different languages, right? And so when I started to stop telling the people who were not really invested in it, and like, even people who were like, yeah, but try to prove that it was wrong. And I would spend all this energy like, no, guys, I'm trying to convince you. And I realized that was burning me out. And it was actually making me believe less about this and doubting myself and doubting that this was possible. So it's not that I stopped talking about it. I just stopped talking around people who were not conscious of it. They're not there yet. And that's okay. And then I just really started to find people who were conscious of it. So like, that's how I attracted Amber. I swear I manifested Amber. Because like, I'm telling you guys, I was literally like on Instagram one night and I was like, manifesting money, makeup artist. I was like literally so freaking hype. I remember I voice memoed you like that night and I was like, so cool. And I was just so excited that there was someone who was within this niche, the same niche that I was in, talking about these things. And I binged your podcast and I was like, oh my gosh. And that's like the prime example, right? So it's the same thing of releasing people. Like I like to do friend cleanses on my social media. Like even if, again, I have this one saying, have you ever blocked people on your social media? Not because you don't want to see them. It's simply because you don't want them to see you, how good that you're doing and all this different stuff. Or it feeds your ego that they know that you're doing good. And so I used to like post stuff and like, I'm out in California, I'm doing this stuff, but I knew people on my social media who were just checking in on me. They're just checking in on me. And I liked that. And I fed off of it. And I had so much validation off of it. So I would block those people. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing me for me. And then it's a whole new level of releasing. And so, like distance from family, distance from close friends. It's not that I don't have my close friends anymore. It's just that I'm not investing my time and energy, right? My family knows what we can talk about and what we can't talk about. Are you calling me to vent to me, or are you calling me to ask for advice? Because if you're just calling me to vent, I'm sorry, I'm not emotionally available for that. Like, And, I'm sorry that there's a lot of stuff going on, but if you're not asking me for help, they're literally stealing your energy. And again, because I've had these boundaries and because I really started to be conscious that it was helping them when I distanced myself from them when I was getting triggered, right? Because now I'm getting mad that they're not listening to me. I'm getting mad that they keep saying everything is expensive. But that's something that I can control and they can't. And so I started when I first started this, I didn't talk to my family for a month. And I don't know if you guys are Hispanic and have sisters, but my sister calls me like every single day. And I was like, I just had to stop just so I could really focus and get clear on my thoughts and my beliefs. And I talk a lot about this on my podcast, but my mom hasn't really come around to any of this stuff until like the past couple months. And I've been on this journey for like 3 years. And you start to realize that you setting the example is what helps people. So I know I post a lot on social media and I post TikToks and I make a podcast and I come on here and I talk about this. The reason why I do that is because the people that I really, really want to help, they don't listen. They don't hear me. And so that's what fires me up. Like it's like you're so passionate about it that you're angry, right? You're like, everyone needs to know this. And so I just take that energy and I just really pour into the people who are listening, because I know you are going to help somebody who's like your sister. You're going to help somebody who is, who has children, and it's a huge, huge ripple effect from that.
Sorry, you cut out for a second. I was like, wait, what? Awesome. Yes, I love that. Yeah. I think that, well, you're definitely doing exactly that. You're hitting so many people on like a worldwide level. So cheers to you, girl, because you're definitely doing exactly that. And I love that you're just bringing so much knowledge to that space. Really quick, we're starting to just like ease up on, like creep up on the time. I always ask you to share this because it's my favorite. Share the exercise that you shared when it comes to the bank account. So feel free to start however you want. I love this one. It's like mind blowing, and I can't wait for all of you guys to literally be like, holy shit. So this is my favorite thing that I've ever learned from Anita, aside from the law of assumption stuff. That was pretty life changing as well. But
yay! Oh yes, okay, I love it. I usually do this at the live events because they're so much fun. But so what I teach people is that the way that you feel about money is how it shows up for you. And if you want to see how your relationship with money is right now, what I want you to do is to, whether you're on your computer, you're on your phone, even if you're on TikTok live right now, I want you to log or onto your bank account right now. And I want you to look at that number. And I want you to tell me, how does that number make you feel? What physically comes up when you look at this number? So I'm going to wait until I start seeing things in the comments. So comments, I want to see what comes up for you. Like, how do you physically feel? So go look at your bank account right now. Come right back after you're done and tell me how it makes you physically feel, what comes up for you. It really is one of the best exercises. It's so fun. So your bank account, where it's at right now, is where your relationship with money is right now. Someone said frustrated. I feel agitated. I feel sad. I want more. I'm lacking. I'm worried. I see what money is. My account is full. Beautiful. Motivated. Panicked. I feel anxious. Anxious, never enough, not enough. Someone says in here, my business bank account makes me nervous. It makes me annoyed. Panic. Oh, yeah, you're so right. This is the best exercise because you can see it, right? And the most beautiful thing, someone said grateful. Someone said, ugh, I got to do more. So the reason why this is the most beautiful exercise is because this is a direct reflection, again, of your relationship with money. And a lot of times people think that when you have more money, that fear, that stress. Oh, I'm not going to be annoyed anymore. I'm not going to be nervous anymore. I'm not going to be overwhelmed anymore. And somebody else even said happy on here, right? So it's when you can really detach from what that number makes you feel is when you'll be an attraction towards money. So I like to put this in an example of like somebody who's in a relationship. Like, let's say I find this guy and he's like so attractive. Oh my gosh, he looks amazing. And he likes me, but he doesn't need me, right? He doesn't need my validation to know that he's worthy. He doesn't need my validation to know that he that he's worthy, that he loves himself, that he's strong or whatever. Just because I say something about him, it doesn't affect how he feels. And when you guys can really detach from whatever feelings that you have about money right now and really operate from this highest frequency, no matter how much is in your bank account. Because, like I said, guys, like I literally went from negative bank accounts to thousands of dollars. And I was like, nothing changed. And there's this moment where it's like you feel so numb because you feel like something's gonna happen, and that's like, oh yeah, I should be happy now, I should be excited. And it's just this overwhelming of, am I worthy of this? Should I give the money away? Oh my gosh. Like it's just all these new subconscious fears start to happen, right? And the beautiful part about this exercise is that we don't know how much is in your bank account, right? It doesn't matter about the number, right? And again, when you guys can really detach from that, and one of the things I like to say is that if you're not going to take the good things in, don't take the bad things in. Or if you're not going to take the bad things in, don't take the good things in either. And I appreciate every single person who is like, Anita, you're so awesome. You changed my life. You're great. You're beautiful. You're blah, blah, blah. And I hardly ever get negative comments at all because I don't feed into them. But it's that validation of the good things that I was feeding off of for a while. And I was like, oh, well, if they manifest money, that means I'm a good coach. If they believe that I'm valuable, if I get a lot of likes on this, that means I'm worthy. And so when you can really detach again from the outcome of how you feel about the number in your bank account, no matter how much is in there, that's when the money will come. And Lewis Howes has a video about this too. And I get so good when people comment on this and don't get it, but this is what he means by it. He's like, he asked somebody, well, I want to make more money. And the guy, his mentor said, well, the money will come to you when you're ready for the money to come to you. And people are like, what the heck does that mean? It doesn't make any sense. This is what it means. Like if you have fear, stress, and anxiety around money, around the whatever you have now, whether it's $100, it's not going to be different when it's 1,000. It's not going to be different when it's 100,000. And it's when, again, you can detach from that. That's when the money manifested for him too.
Wow. Yes, that's awesome. I love Louis House. You said Louis House. Louis House.
Lewis Howes. I love him. I'm manifesting him.
I always end up tripping myself up and saying Louise because of Louise Hayes. Like Louis House. Anyways, I love that analogy, and I love that you brought those examples to it because it's true. Like it really doesn't. And going back, so she's talking about money. The success points are the same thing. When you hit those success points, of course, like it's exciting and you're whatever, but nothing actually changes around you besides like being able to add that like to your, your portfolio or something. I'll never forget there was this one girl on the set of Pen 15 and she had just worked on like a really big movie, and she was she got bumped up to be the personal for the main actress, and it was a huge thing for her. And she's like, I feel weird because I don't feel any different. Like I assumed that when I got to a point like this that I would feel different. She's like, and now I feel weird because it's like, now what? Like, what do I do? And we feel like this sense of like feeling lost almost, of like, we hit this point and we don't feel any different. So now what? So I love that you brought that. If you just like detach from that and like, of course, have those goals and everything, but detach and just be totally present and okay with where you're at now, and be just as happy now than as if and when, or not if and when, but just as happy as you will be when you hit those points, or when you hit certain money marks or whatever. Because it's just constantly living in the present is really all it is. You know, whether you have $1 million in your account or $15 in your account, if you are working with Johnny Depp, or if you're working with your brother, I don't know, whatever it looks like. So I love that you brought that example. So last bit, I want you to share what is some, like, what's some last words of wisdom that you would like to share with the community when it comes to manifesting?
Oh, so good. Well, I know that you asked what are some of the things that I'm struggling with now. And so I'll do a little bit of both. So one of the things that I really, really do preach, especially for the beauty community, guys, it's a $500 billion company, or yeah, $1 billion industry. And that was like last year before the pandemic. The beauty industry was the only industry to quadruple in sales over the pandemic. And so I am all about manifestation. I am all about meditation, being in alignment, everything. But I'm also really big on balancing the masculine and feminine energy. So when you were talking about this earlier about taking action. And so what I like to tell everybody, that we're in a season right now where Source is like, please give me a way to make you money, or to send you money. Like, we're sitting here and we're like, I want $1 million. I want $1 million. It's like, could someone physically like purchase something from you that's like $10,000 right now, $5,000? Like, just physically having ways that money can come to you and setting everything up, right? And so when everything happened for me, it was just like, again, the little tiny things that I did on a consistent basis. And I realized is that I opened myself up to all these different ways that money could come to me, because I had affiliate marketing set up. So if you guys are makeup artists and you're not partnered with the products that you're working with, that's one of the things is like, work smarter, not harder. Okay. So make sure that every single thing that you're referring, you're getting money back for it, right? Because one, it's in alignment. You're already going to be talking about it all day, every day. People ask me about my hat all the time. And guess what? I 1000% would refer this to so many people. And I have no resistance around me getting cash back if somebody purchased it. And I think it's a new level of us releasing the, I don't want, I'm not referring this because of money. No, you're not. You're referring it because people trust you. And that's why money flows to you, because you are building that trust. And money and trust are actually the same frequency. And that's why a lot of influencers who are just posting stuff just to post it, like, sales don't even convert as much as that anymore, because now people are looking for micro influencers. So even if you don't have 5,000, 1,000 followers, like, literally people are looking for people like you. And so stay open to all the different ways that money can come to you, whether it's through sponsorship, whether it's affiliate marketing. I'm really big on telling every single person in the world to make a course and make a podcast. I think every person should have one. Like, my manifestation started with a $33 course. That's how it all started. And so I think it's really important to have stuff like that, because it's like, okay, well, how can someone how can I physically make money in my sleep? And once I started to set stuff up like that, and then I would get one sale like out of the whole week, and I'd be like, screenshot it, and I would look at it every day. And then I would start to visualize like it coming more and more and more until it manifested. And so whatever ideas that you guys have, and I'm talking big ideas, like my idea started with an app, and then it just led to one thing and after another. And so start with the really, really big idea. Go all in. I think I'm going to put a Facebook post about this. Like, it's going to say, fuck it. Like, literally, I don't give a fuck if I fail. I don't care if I make money. I'm just going to do it. And ever since I've had that mentality, I was like, holy crap. So many things started to shift. So dream really, really big. And know that because you're on this path, the path of least resistance, the big idea, right? The money's going to come to you through the ways that you think it is, or something else. My first launch, I made a couple sales, but then I got a $3,000 check in the mail. Like little things started to happen. And again, I paid attention. Okay, even though this didn't work out, the same amount of money I was manifesting still showed up. So pay attention to that. And the other thing is to outsource yourself. Please outsource yourself. Like connect with other people who are experts in marketing, connect with other people who are experts. Like their path of least resistance is posting on social media every day. Like if you guys feel like you have to post every day, find somebody who can do that for you. I'm telling you guys, that was one thing that was like exponential growth because one, yes, it was their path of least resistance. And then two, I really started to understand that the new level of uncomfortability for me was to release a lot of things. And that's the number one thing that I've been struggling with lately because now I have money and I have employees and I'm like still doing all these things, but I don't have to. And my team is like, Anita, we can do that. Anita, just trust me. And I'm like trying to write on my board every morning, I trust my team. I trust my team. And I notice the more that I trust my team, that they just take over and they freaking kill it. And I'm like, oh, I should have done that forever ago. And I'm like, okay. So that's the number one thing that I'm struggling with. But yeah, follow the path of least resistance and release all the people, places, and things that are no longer serving you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And I'm really, really excited to share with you guys that Anita is gifting you guys a discount code for her 31 days of abundance. So every single one of you will get 10% off of that particular course that she offers, her program. So all of the information for that particular landing page will be in the Facebook group. So I will post that amongst some other things, some other goodies that you guys get. And then those of you that sign up for the Inner Circle, she is gifting you the 3-day Manifesting Money workshop for free. So for those of you that sign up and or have signed up, you will be receiving that for free. We'll be giving you your coupon code for that once you sign up. So one last thing, make sure you guys go follow Anita. She's on Instagram. She's at Manifesting Money Podcast. Follow her on TikTok. That's where she's like really at. Same one, Manifesting Money Podcast. And then also her podcast, Manifesting Money Podcast. So find her on all those platforms and give her some love if you don't already follow her. And make sure you share her podcast, give them all the likes and loves, leave her a comment, not a comment, but a review, everything. Thank you so much, Anita, for being here. It's always such a pleasure to be in your energy. I just admire you so, so much.
Girl, I'm just a mirror. I'm a mirror for you. I'm telling you, I see it in you and I'm like, girl, let's go. I'm so excited and I'm so happy and grateful for every person who's watching this right now. And you guys have no idea how much goes in behind the scenes of all this stuff. So the fact that you're here, one, commend yourself for showing up. And then thank you, Amber, for hosting this. Thank you for putting this on for other people because you're creating so much consciousness and the world needs to hear this. And they're only going to register it when you say it. So if you guys are learning about this and you're learning about how it applies to your makeup business and you're learning all these things from Amber, I'm telling you guys, it clicks when she says it for a reason. And when you find that person that when they say it, it clicks, stick with them because that's exactly how we got on this path. And every single time that you're investing your time, your energy, your money into people like this, it comes back to you in tenfold because again, you're operating at this highest frequency. So yes, I'm going to give the 3-day workshop to anybody who joins this program because this is literally my thank you for you guys doing this work. Like your testimony is helping so many people. So I'm just so excited to any way that I can help.
Yes. Thank you. So yes, join the Inner Circle, you guys. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead. There's like a little, I'm going to go ahead and take her down. Thank you once again, Anita. Yes. You'll be hearing from me after this. So, stick around on your phone. We'll say stick around on your phone. Check it in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. I love you, girl. Thank you. See you later. Okay, so that was amazing as I knew it would be. Anita is always such an amazing human being. Her energy is just like so contagious. Anytime that I'm feeling like any anything less than super excited and positive. Anytime I watch her TikToks and her reels, I'm always like, I'm going to go do something really awesome for myself, and I'm going to go manifest and all that. So she's got such an incredible energy. So, thank you guys for sticking around, for being in this space. I totally forgot to share with you guys that the other night, on the first night, I told you guys about my cardigan that I bought for myself for the acting as if, and I told you I was going to wear it yesterday, and I totally forgot. This is the cardigan. This is the Free People cardigan. I meant to say that at the very beginning of this session. This is the cardigan that I wear when I feel my absolute best version of myself, acting as if I already have what it is I'm calling out for. And so this is it. This is the little Free People cardigan that I got at Marshall's that I trick in my mind that I paid full price for. It's like, seriously, I love it so much. Thank you, Elisa. She said, I love that color. It's the most comfy cardigan, and I love it. And it makes me feel a very specific way, going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this session about raising your vibration. And so whenever I wear this, I feel like I'm in that income bracket that I'm trying to reach for, because I'll have all of the money that I need to buy something like this full price and have like not even blink an eye. So that is just like, I wanted to wear this for you guys, even though I'm like sweating bullets right now. I'm going to take it off. Anyway, so yes, going back to the inner circle, I know we're like really over time here. So thank you guys for staying and sticking by. For those of you who are still here live and watching on the replay. But today is the last day. Tomorrow we have a bonus day. So it's earlier. It's not at 5 p.m. You'll get an email reminder and all that good stuff. James Vincent and Harriet Hadfield are going to be here. Woo, they're going to be bringing some really amazing stuff to the table, so don't miss it. It's a bonus that I am bringing to the table for you guys. I went out on a limb to make sure that they were going to be in our space, and I added a day for you guys. So definitely don't miss that. But the Inner Circle membership, the doors are open. So like I said, there are two options. There's a monthly price of $29 a month, and then an annual price for $288 for the year. Basically, you get exactly what you're experiencing right now inside the Inner Circle. So if you love what you're experiencing on this bootcamp, which is tying in mindset trainings with marketing and marketing trainings and things like that, and business training for being a makeup artist, like a freelance makeup artist, and tying those two things together, you get all of the current masterclasses that exist right now. There's over 13, and then you would get access every single month to the membership and any new content that we do. And we do every other month new masterclasses, so new trainings, but every single month we do goal setting sessions, and I always try to do them on new moons because new moons are really big for manifesting. So we do monthly goal setting sessions, monthly mentorship sessions, and group Reiki. So you guys experienced the Reiki that I shared with you earlier. You experienced that inside the Inner Circle, and a monthly accountability calls with Elisa and Sabrina for our monthly accountability calls. So that essentially the whole concept is set your intentions and goals at the beginning of the month. The accountability calls are in the middle of the month with the accountability mentors to keep you going, keep that momentum. And then we end every month with the mentorship session and Reiki session so that you can ask any mentorship questions that you want with me. It's in a Zoom meeting. So I bring you guys up and I do one-on-ones in a group style. Okay, a group setting through Zoom. And anybody that does the annual pricing, so $288, you get an additional 2 courses. One's a program, the Social Media for Makeup Artists program. It's a 4-week program, and the Men's Grooming course, plus a one-on-one Reiki session with me. And then you get, essentially it's a discounted monthly rate. You get all of that for only $288. And it's like worth over $700 like retail. If you were to take individually everything and calculate it all out, it actually is almost like $800 that you would pay if you paid for each of those individually. Okay, so definitely we already have Jordan and Vivian apart. I haven't checked my emails yet to see if anybody else has joined, but we are going to be having these open cart periods until the 18th. So it's only going to be for a certain amount of time. We always raise the prices. This is the price for right now, and it will go up. Okay. All right, you guys. So that is it for today. If you have any questions at all, please let me know really quick. I do have one thing that I need to announce, which is we have one more challenge because today is day 3 and there's still a challenge. So you can still win something. Okay. So day 3's challenge, all right, is to take massive action. Obviously, we're talking all about massive action. And so you can choose one of 3 things for this challenge to be entered to win for the prize that I'm going to be giving away tomorrow, which is 1, share that you are available to work on your stories. And then in the story, mention to DM, like for example, you put, I'm available for work for X amount of days or X amount of times. DM me for inquiries. Trust me when I say the last couple times we've done this boot camp, anybody that's done that always ends up getting something, just to put that out there, ends up getting booked or something. Another option for you to take action for this challenge is to practice something you need to improve on. And then the third option is to set up a new system to get yourself organized. I didn't get a chance to talk about systems today. So forgive me on that. Maybe I'll kind of touch on it a little bit tomorrow. Okay, so choose one of the 3 of those. And the way that you're going to enter to be a part of the challenge is to do a screenshot of whatever it is and then post it in the Facebook group. If you're not on the Facebook group, just either tag me in the screenshot that you're doing and post it to your Instagram stories, or you can DM me or something like that if you want it to be more private, whatever. That works too. Okay, so that's the challenge for day 3. I will announce the winner tomorrow. It's a very special prize. I'm not going to say what the prize is today. I will announce that tomorrow to get you guys, some mysterious, kind of like suspense going. Okay. All right. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, like seriously, for you guys that are here day 3. Pat yourself on the back. Not very many people go through an entire boot camp. So those of you that are still here with me, y'all are on the top like 10%ers. Okay. So you're already like doing it. Okay. So keep doing it for yourself. Keep showing up for yourself, because that's going to show up in your success and, and your money and everything. I'm like, is my mic still on? Okay. So show up for yourself. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know it feels like it's the end, but we still have tomorrow. So either way, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Join the inner circle if this is something you really feel called to do, aligned with, you really enjoyed this experience. And if not, if right now is not the time for you, that's totally fine. We have more boot camps to come, but the price will go up. So just know that. And there are other things that we do offer. I will be getting that landing page for you guys with all of the discount and coupon codes for all the different things that you guys get goodies for. I will announce that in the Facebook group. And either way, you guys are all walking out with something. There's a bunch of goodies that we're doing. So Onset Headsets is giving you guys a coupon code. Anita is giving you a coupon code. And then Harriet is also offering you guys access to one of her master classes that she just did that is no longer accessible to the public. So she's gifting that for you guys. I will get that landing page. And then, of course, all the information for the inner circle will be on that page as well. Okay. So somebody asked how much after the promotion for the membership. So just to put it in perspective, the last promotion that we did, it was $22 a month, and now it's $29 a month. So we usually do a bump of anywhere between $4 to $5 or more dollars every single launch that we do. So it would probably bump up to about $35 a month after this boot camp when we do our next launch. And then that annual price would go up as well. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Thank you for asking. It's a great question. And yeah, that's it for now. Anybody else that has other questions, feel free to reach out personally. Reach out to the accountability mentors, Elisa or Sabrina. And until tomorrow, I will see you on the bonus session tomorrow. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific time / 3 p.m. Eastern time. Look out for your email. I know it's a slightly different time, but this was the time that was able to work out for our lovely bonus guests. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All of the love to every single one of you. I wish nothing but the ultimate success for every single one of you. And I can't wait to watch each and every one of you grow. All right. See you guys later. Bye.